to the Crush 100 NL show. We're here with 4 tables this afternoon. And you know the drill. We're going to jump in. We're going to try and play our focused A game. Decided to even kick this off a little bit earlier. I'm sat at my desk here. Nothing else to do. Just like sitting here waiting. So let's go. Let's get some cards in the air. The thing I want to talk about in today's show is picking spots and what that really means. Picking a spot is about understanding that you're in a higher EV situation to do X than normal or average, and identifying those conditions. For example, if you pick a spot to 3-bet in position pre with ace-6 suited, which let's say is not a 3-bet button versus hijack, but you pick a spot where you think it's good, that's picking a spot. You could be talking about picking a spot to bluff, to value bet, to try something out. Picking spots is all about you've got a line in mind and you think this is a really good situation for it, and identifying what those are. There are good spots to bluff and there are bad spots to bluff against humans. There are spots where you should never bluff against a certain player type or against a certain line. And there are spots where you should always bluff, even if GTO says that it's a mix. So main emphasis on picking spots to bluff today, but also spots to get involved in it to win it, isolating people pre, that sort of thing as well. I may be limited as to how much I can tie this back to the theme, because we are going to be playing 4 tables and it's going to get a bit fast and frantic. Hopefully we're all good. We won't have any tech issues that tilt the shit out of me this time. This is an educational poker stream. Don't encourage you to play online poker or anything like that, but if you are interested in the game, then this will help you get better at it. That was for the algorithm, of course, on YouTube. So off we go. I'm going to fold deuces here. I have action on another table. The hand is incredibly close. Do I want to open this? Probably not, with action on another table. And going to be betting very high frequency on this board, and it's going to be 1 big blind. This is a nut advantage equalizing spot. Hand is too mediocre to bet turn on 4 straight 3 flush. We're going to check, go from there. In order to bluff this river successfully, villain is going to have to snap bet here with Jack 7, Jack 8, Queen 6 suited, stuff like this. Don't expect to see enough of it even for half pot. Half pot is what we call a bullshit sizing in general, but there are going to be certain situations where, let me just think about this spot actually. I'm just going to call here. There are going to be certain situations where even half pot is going to be underbluffed, and that's going to be one of them because it's basically impossible for villain to have nothing. Basically super unlikely. Going to just be folding flop here with ace queen, so let's get on with it. Let's not linger or waste any time. Queen 7, we're also just going to be check folding here. Queen 7, we're going to be playing a lot of 1 big blind cutoff. We're either going to be playing B200 today on flop or 1 big blind, depending on the texture. I think you guys have got some idea of how that works by now. Against 5.5 big blinds in this spot, on the paired board, this hand is really performing a lot worse than you would think. 18 VPIP, sort of unknown player. I'm okay with just folding there, honestly, with that hand. The bolts you actually hit when you have pair on the board there on a paired board are just a lot worse than the bolts you would hit with a pocket pair, because it's going to double pair the board and you're not live against Queen X. So just food for thought in that spot. You can go either way here with King 4. My default is just going to be to 3-bet though. I'm going to use like a kind of small exploitative 3-bet against an unknown in this situation. If this turns out to be a reg, I'll play a bit more solidly, but against unknowns, it's a very high EV line where money is going to flow clockwise very heavily. Not defending Queen Jack off after checking flop with it. You can also bet flop with it. King 9, easy peel here against what looks to be a recreational player 3-bet. This spot could develop into something incredibly high EV, so we just want to keep it on our radar. It could matter a lot to our win rate what we do here. Villain checks, kind of weird. We could argue suspicious. I'm going to just bet B75. This pot could do with some juicing, and I think they're normally just going to have queens, jacks, something like that. They're usually going to check call. When they lead out, their most common hand is still like something like kings or queens, although we block kings, but just a lot of ace-x as well at this point. I don't think seeking fold equity in this line anymore is going to be the best idea, so I am going to elect to just call and fold. Basically, when villain sort of turns the hand into there being a bit of a maniac, we're trying to get there and just expecting like a lot of payoff if we do. Ace-8 cutoff, we probably want to go for this, all things being equal. Very bad run out for range here. Ace-Queen of Spades, I think we need a little more to start attacking this node than this hand. They're just kind of absolute bottom of range type situation. Hello chat. Chat has come alive, which probably means the delay has caught up. I'm just gonna mute the stream so it doesn't interfere. Okay, cool. A7, I'll do a little bit of 3-bet bluff on table 4, but just mostly going to be calling this one. 7 of hearts is close. I probably will defend against Pool's likely strategy here. A6 goes up in showdown on the paired turn. Down again on the river. Of interesting situation here. I do think this sort of texture is reasonable to bluff. I don't know why I'm hitting RNG here, because like I should just be making a decision. I think this is reasonable. There is some showdown though, like people just have no idea what they're doing. Like checking down 10-9 is not a thing, as we like to say. So I'm going to just check based on the fact that although fold equity is higher than it should be, showdown value is also higher than it should be. So we'll weighing the things up against each other. I don't actually want to use RNG in that spot. Sometimes I just hit it out of habit. If you see this little number dancing about the place, it's because I'm randomizing something. Sometimes I do it out of habit, then ignore it. Usually I do it intentionally. A6, not quite enough incentives to get involved here. Again, just being like conscious of the fact that we have limited time resources available. We're mass multi-tabling, etc. I'm going to start with something that could be a bit juicy here. This player looks really wild. I have the kind of hand that can definitely get a little bit of value. I'm going to again keep going with something that can be juicy. He's just calling down though instantly, not really thinking, which probably just means 7x, 6x, pocket 8, something like that. I'm going to go for this on river here. He could have a better ace. Oh, did I have 2-pair? I didn't even notice. Jesus. Yeah, I should size up river there, but it's not. With that timing, I'm kind of unlikely to be doing really well here anyway, to be honest. Against a reg that's going 2.5 with these trashy, semi-trash hands, I'm going to roll a bit of 3-bet, do a lot of call. I'm not really going to be folding suited stuff to 2.5 here. Even 9 deuce. On this board, I think we're going to go big bet. This is fairly clean nut-wise. Like, they do have 3s and 5s and 7s. They're not going to have, like, 6-4 particularly often here. So I'm probably going to go B100 check. I'm going to go B100 check. And we're betting 9 deuce this time. Queen Jack of Spades. I am not going to be donking here, but I will check raise by default, and I will definitely bet now. As a default play, it's going to be a wildly underfolded spot in turn. It's going to be incredibly difficult for villain to protect that texture after they quickly check flop. Being kind of aware of timing is important, hard as it is while you're 4-tabling. King deuce is going to take a bit more juice to be good than that table, but scanning nevertheless. Jack 9, we just want to call. Now we want to fold. We wouldn't have 3-bet there because we're reopening. We have limited fold equity out of position against recreational. It's very much a mining spot, so you wouldn't roll the 3-bet bluff there, even though it's a thing. Happy Feeling, Chatterbox, Sharpie Hop, Richard, Solwa, Steros, welcome on YouTube chat. I think Twitch should be live as well, if someone can verify that. Bit busy to check right now. B200 check on double Broadway, Ace Queen, Deuce, two-tone. So obviously checking this hand, we turn 2-pair, which is nothing to get excited about on this texture. And honestly, I don't really care what I do here. I think bet for B50 and check are both viable with this hand. I don't have a big preference. I think like against the average like recreational, it's better to bet here. But against the reg, it's honestly not going to matter much. Most of the villain's range is A6 here for check calling. There's a bit of like 10s with a spade, jacks with a spade, maybe without as well. Some king X and stuff like that. I think it's too thin to try and get value though. That does not play, does it? Kind of a shame. I'm going to be doing small bets on king 8-3, but not pure blind versus blind, not range betting. Monkey May is here on Twitch. Good to see Twitch is alive and well. Okay, I don't think this has too much showdown to bluff. In fact, I think this just wants to bluff a lot of the time. Overcard, limited showdown, 6 of spades, trouble check calling, seems to tick all the boxes. Not going to defend against big bet with ace 10, even with a diamond. I'm going to be shoving ace king here. I don't know what this player is really doing, but they're not. They don't have too much money. I mean, yeah, for this amount of big blinds, it's fine. It's really not great, though. It's kind of meh. Not a happy spot, not a sad spot. Club, please. Let's run it and hit the club. I feel like it's coming. We'll run it again. Let's get the club. Let's get the whole pot. Should have taken our cash out equity, guys, huh? Couldn't do it to you guys, though. You know, couldn't make you watch a cash out. That would not be good viewing. A6 with the 5. Against a really merged range, I could see raise and call both being okay here. We do get some better hands to fold immediately on a texture such as this. And obviously we're incredibly nutted in the redraw department. With 8s, we definitely just want to go ahead and isolate. Villain jams. It's kind of unfortunate. We have a set blocker. We have the ace of diamonds. We have some backdoor bolt outs and stuff like that. We need like close to 50%. Don't know what they're doing up here. We're just going to call. I don't think we have enough. I think this is like 2 pair sets and stuff like that. I just can't see this ever being like any kind of draw. There's no dead money at all. I guess we just don't quite have enough. Oh, I just definitely pressed call, but it made me time out. Really, really huge error there by timing out on that table. I should have just gone straight to that table instead of thinking a hand I'd already folded. We'll get better at this, guys. We suck at 4-tabling and streaming. Like, we really suck, especially in this time bank, but I'm determined to try and make it work. Because it's a cool format. But yeah, folding 8s to a maniac there that's like donking all kinds of shit. Merging this is a huge disaster, but yeah, it's going to happen. I shouldn't be dwelling on that hand. Need 50%. I can dwell on it now. I don't have action, I guess. I need like 40-something% equity. I think I'm just drawing to flush outs for the most part. It's really a shame, but yeah, I think it's probably just about a fold. I didn't expect to face all in too often, I have to say. B200 check on table 4. Let's try and refocus here. Don't want to take the spot. No, not really. Worst connector. No marks at the table, not going to bother. Jack 10. We'll just use B50 here. I think it's a pure value bet. You're not going to be good at check calling enough here. Check raising enough here, sorry. To make us even consider checking this back. Ace-King functions as a hybrid between check and B100 here. Multi-way, I'd expect to get a fair amount of folds here. There are some people with uncapped ranges, though, checking to aggressors, so I'll just leave for B50 here. Just make this my sizing. I'm going to pure B120 this turn-ish. And I will squeeze here. I think that's just too good to get involved with the recreational here. I don't really care about this player. So I'll squeeze king queen off and try and take this pulse flop. This is a high EV situation for our hand. Plenty of misdraws that we just lose to here. I'm going to go something like this, something like this, something like this. I don't think I want to use like some giant sizing because 4x and 9x is never folding, and I honestly expect a 10 to be pretty inelastic as well. Villain raises flop here. It's either going to be call or jam. This can be pretty spewy, honestly. I think I prefer call, especially with the queen of spades. I can just navigate a bit better. And I'm not going to fold my hand here. I'm not thrilled with this turn, but yeah, just too many merges. King 10, king jack. Could be stuff like 9s in there. There could be like ace 9. There's just all sorts of stuff in this line. Very volatile line from a recreational player, this one. Unfortunate to run into 6s in a spot where you've isolated a recreational and a 3-bet pot and they have a fairly wide range that can have a lot of stuff. Glad to hear Twitch is live, BB too. So yeah, not the best variance there, but like what can you do? You're trying to get into that exact situation against the recreational and then like they flop a set, you flop top pair. These are the situations you're meant to go broke. Don't worry about it too much. You can check or bet here. I'm going to bet because my hand can materialize into something good and it's vulnerable. A fold here, mix here with king 5. It's such a frantic format. Do I want to embark on some crazy bluff? Not with a 60 big blind recreational and not on an ace high board. It's just not a fantastic spot for fold equity at all. I'm going to check very, very often on this sort of texture. Actually, I think playing B100 check, yeah, we're going to play B100 check here, so just checking always with this hand, and check call seems like the only play. I don't expect him to have too many good hands here, actually. I expect to dominate quite a lot of the good hands they do have, so I think I expect to dominate a lot of the air they have. So I think just check call 3 times here is the play. River's far too thin to do anything, but I'm not going to be folding. And yeah, his queen has showdown, but there's plenty of broadways in their range that don't, that are just going to stab there at some point, so check call is going to be a big winner. I just have enough showdown here with ace-x. I don't think I'm really making recreational fold many better hands. And we can bluff catch most rivers with ace-x. Even this river, like I'm not in love with the spot, but given we beat all bluffs, Fish do merge sometimes though with like ace-9, ace-10. This is the problem in a spot like this. I think I'll call like ace-10 there and not ace-6 probably, something like that. Ace-9 I don't really roll any 3-bet. It's just a very middling ace. I mean you can, it's not a huge deal. Easy fold. If I time down, guys, it's okay. Like, I expect it to happen. I'm going to get better at this. Like, we don't need to go to 3 tables. We're just going to adjust. I just haven't done this for ages, but we're going to get there. Going to favor... This could be recreational. I don't actually know. We're going to favor 4-bet with ace-king suited here. As in, like, always do that. And again, B100 check. In this line on 9-6-4 two-tone. King-queen's going to be fairly high frequency. Overall range isn't going to be betting that much here, though. This spot, do want to isolate this one with 7s. I think betting and checking are both pretty much okay here. I'm going to go B50 when I bet. There are some ace-king, ace-queen hybrids in the flop betting range here. Obviously facing jam is terrible. I don't expect to face too much jam here. And 7s is the kind of hand that can turn into a bluff later. I don't know if it's right on this run out against a recreational player on an ace high board. I don't think it actually is. We should, like, in theory, be beating some bluffs there. It's super close, but we're probably... Like, some clubs should play that way that we actually are ahead of, like king jack, queen jack at some frequency. I don't know. God, this is hugely frantic, isn't it? That's a clear fold, though. That's the bluff, like, pocket pair. Hard format. I think now it goes check, check instantly. We have a river value bet here. I don't want to make it huge. But that's such a green light. I don't think I'm meant to face that much jam. Maybe because it's double flush draw, I face a bit more. Is that a mistake to bet king queen? I honestly don't know. I don't know the answer to that spot. It could be a mistake to bet king queen. It could be a bet call in theory when I bet. I don't know. If I don't know what I'm doing actually against jam, and I should probably just be checking the hand because I know that check is totally fine. It's just one of those like can't make a mistake simplification type plays. I should have quite a bit of showdown on this node actually. I have to say I kind of lost sight of the action there though. Yeah, 4 table mayhem is about right. That is what this is. It's okay when like tons of spots don't come up all at the same time. Because you're racing to not time down, this is the problem. Checking twice here, expect to see a lot of random shit on river. This is how we just make money from the bottom of villain's range here. Don't like to see this sizing, particularly from a recreational, but it's B120. There's just so much random shit that gets here. I'm still not going to fold, although I do think it's a much stronger sizing than normal. With Ace King, as you notice against this player, because they're just kind of wild, I'm basically just taking lines that I think can induce the, when I have value, I'm just kind of not really trying to bluff them much. I'm just keeping the door open for them to do silly stuff. That's the idea. Oh yeah, I'll miss lots of pure calls pre and stuff. Like I might make some autopilot folds and things. So you're gonna see quite a few mistakes when I do this format initially, I think. I'm gonna use half pot on a board like this when I bet. This is one of the boards, whereas the out of position opener against cold caller, you do want a betting range, I think. B10 or check. Again, these turn probe textures are incredibly hard for people to defend. B10 is one of my favorite things if you want to just like augment those spots on the river where you have a hand that's best more often than not and can get called if you go tiny, but like you don't want to bluff catch. If you do want to bluff catch, you know, check, that's fine. But otherwise, B10 is just a slight improvement. I call it the river penknife in the Chorus Weapons of War. I mean, jack off isn't going to be the best in this situation. There's no like big fish at the table or anything. Sixes, I could call them in. I could fold. I could maybe 3-bet. Everything's like kind of close. You'll see me check a lot of flops in these low textures when I do bet. I'm going to have a really polarized range. So it's going to be like good, jack, and better for value, and then bluffs. This is what I call a juicy bluff in the new course I'm making. It's going to be very high frequency. It does not do that well by checking. It has a very strong overcard on a dry texture, some backdoors, and some unblockers to the cards that mainly fold, which are things like a 9, a 10, a jack, stuff like that. At this point in the hand, we're playing B100 check. And on double barrel mode with this hand, I'm going to be checking, but there are plenty of hands there that we're going to continue barreling with. I think King 4 with spades on that texture is not one of them. And this is a very clear bluff catch. There's just a ton of gutter here. Villain's going to be drowning in gutter for this sizing. So many of their value wants to use a bigger size, and they're not going to value bet a jack, I don't think. So they're going to be over bluffing that spot, most likely. King Jack is obviously like a very normal value hand, but apart from that, some backdoor flushes, there's not a whole lot of value that can go into B75 there. So I would expect long term to be winning like probably 50% or more in that node. Carrot Corner School for live poker, obviously it's the courses use online as the template for like the hand history examples, but you know, theory is theory. We talk about how the game works, so there are live players in our Discord that have taken the school that really like it and stuff like that. Are there courses that are more geared towards live players? Yes, but this is like, you know, fundamentals of poker, so it's not like we're teaching people stuff that only works in a 6-max cash online environment or anything like that. I think you can do some check raise here, but it's mostly going to be bet with this hand. Eight of diamonds here. This is already quite close. This player has an 88 VPIP. That is where the money is. That's the thing you want to mark. You want to always know where they are. You want to bend over backwards to be in pots with them. Jack 5 off is terrible. However, the skill edge in the spot against 2 recreationals is so great. I'm going to see the flop, guys. I'm going to do it. It's a really hard node to defend ourselves on, but we do have a bunch of draws there to play jam with. We have a bunch of top pair, although not like loads, and we have some less vulnerable under pair as well. But yeah, it's gonna be mix on flop, fold on turn, I think. Yeah, check might be better with that king queen hand. I don't know, honestly. That's one to look up. There is a type of hand like that that's just like a bit too good draw wise to reopen with in those situations, and that could be it. It all comes down to how often you actually expect to get raised. I didn't expect to get raised very frequently in that spot because villain mostly just has a6, and that just seems like a really obvious call, right? Like most people don't play jam there, so I expected to get jammed on less in reality than in theory, so that's why I favored bet, but honestly I don't know. The spot sucks when he checks flop, honestly. I'm going to run into a lot of slow plays and jams there and stuff, but I think I still have to bet. I maybe should bet smaller. In position here, and we've been sold an excellent price. Timing down with Jack 9, I rolled a 3-bet, but I'm not going to get there in time. We'll just call. I need to fix my hotkey buttons for this format as well. I expect this from a tight-looking semi-reg or whatever to be just underprotected, so I'm going to just go with bet. I'm going to raise king 9, ace 3. I'm just going to go with 3-bet as default. 4-bet, rather. How did I time down that time? I don't know, man. Go check again on this card. Just slightly lacking the equity to bet again here. I do expect this to be like ace king, ace queen a lot. I might actually... Okay, I was counterfeited by a river. If I hadn't been, I would probably have called. Not really a lot we can do now. This card's kind of annoying because we still don't beat ace queen, which is a likely ace. And it's somewhat difficult for villain to pay off 3 barrels here. It can happen with like ace jack of hearts, ace 10 of hearts, things like that. Do I want to check though? Do I want to check call this combo? I think maybe I do actually. Just the way this board is run out, like I think we get stacked by ace queen in any case. I don't think there's that much one pair ace-x in villain's range here. And there are just some random king jack of hearts, clubs, etc. that just have to bluff now. He might even shove worse for value here, just thinking he's good. Nice. Happy we found that one. I'm not saying that was definitely the right play just because of the result. But yeah, it's a random recreational. This is kind of blood from a stone, honestly. This spot, I should have raised flop or turn. I just wasn't paying attention because of the table. It didn't matter in the end. I think they've just got nothing. I don't mind actually slow playing the Immortals there. Just letting them spew. They're going to have such a wide range with so much trash in it. Pop boat here. Okay, just playing one big blind check. Mostly one big blind. Always one big blind with this hand. And I think we're always betting turn. And this is going to be a size down barrel spot. I'm going to isolate his jack and just take the 3-bet node. Sorry I'm quiet on chat, guys. It's just a lot to sort of pay attention to. I can fold here. This is super indefinite. Just focus on this table for now. Normally I'd play that spot, but I don't really need to. We just hope we run into a fish here. I think. 6x is incredibly unlikely with this line. Maybe this is not right though. Because he has a small VPIP. Like this line is so generating of fold equity in this spot. I don't think that's right. I don't think with like there is meant to be some quads in his range. I think that's a misplay. I should go smaller because villain's meant to have like that polarized reopening element there. I don't think that's right. I think I just go like B75 or something. The thing is, the VPIP's just too low. If it looks like a fish, I think you can do it. I think go for all in there every time. I think against a reg, it's probably just too harvesting of full equity, and you will actually lose occasionally as well. The quads. And if you get shoved on, honestly, it might just be quads. So not a fan of how I played that, but we're going to get plenty of shit wrong. So these spots are always challenging for villain to bluff enough in. Okay, now the king river's come, it's just kind of ridiculous, but yeah. We're never folding a spot, it's going to be grossly overbluffed. Even for the chop. I don't know if it's worth like jamming though, it's so expensive and it reopens, so it's kind of hard. Definitely not fold though. Like that spot, they just get this auto, if they're a reg, they have this auto bluff sort of situation. Ace 8, I think we just take the showdown. And we are going to just 3-bet 8 to suited against the recreational, expect money to flow. Mainly with fold equity after the flop and just position and stuff like that. And also pre-flop, there's some fold equity. But yeah, give me 2 suited cards in this spot, and you generally want to 3-bet against the recreational here. I'm going to go for somewhat custom in this spot, just like a made-up sizing that looks kind of bigger than it is. I don't know, just making stuff up. Don't care too much. A recreational always shoves an ace on double flush draw. Yeah, I think it was a reg though. I also always forget just how like visually wired recreational players are, how much they're just like constantly reacting to the fact that they need to go this big. Oh well. They're constantly reacting to like the colors on the board and the flushes, and they're just like traumatized, like basically babbling wrecks of players that are just like completely scarred by losing to flushes. I always forget that this is like the psyche of the recreational sometimes. It's important to remember that stuff. The more you've played live, the more embedded that will be in your head, by the way, that Recs think that way. Well, where you call someone a villain just because they outplayed you, clearly you were a bully at school. Villain is, yeah, I think you're joking, but for anyone that doesn't know, villain just denotes your opponent in poker. Jack 8, I think we'll take this one. I actually went to pretty rough school and I wasn't actually bullied that much. I was kind of neither a bully nor a victim at high school. Like, I did a decent enough job of like flying under the radar as far as the bullies were concerned somehow. Or maybe like appeasing them and knowing what to say. That always helps. This spot kind of sucks, but at 3-1, I think we're going to take it. I think double float's okay here. Maybe it's not. I meant to press call there, just misclick with jacks. Jesus Christ. Like, we're getting 3-1 on the combined chance of like hitting a queen, hitting a diamond, which is usually good, but not always, and I'm bluffing. I don't know, it's close. Didn't mean full jacks to that. That's another disaster. So 2 timeout, time pressure disasters already today in like medium pots. This definitely is like a massive slash out my win rate when I do this format, guys, but we'll do our best. It's just very fast. You may wonder why I do it to myself. I don't know. I kind of get a kick out of it, like just trying to test my old brain, just see if I can keep up. Especially at the end of my day, man. This is the end of my day, believe it or not. I know you guys are just waking up for the day, but 3 p.m. This is dead. This is dad bedtime almost. Although playing bridge tonight, so there's no rest. Do you want to take the spot? I think so. It looks pretty recreational. I made a video with this exact hand in these positions, so just saying you want to take these spots generally. Yeah, the ace 3 one's kind of annoying because there's just not that much stuff you get paid off by there. Especially when you have an ace. Like, villain mainly has stuff that beats you, like ace queen and then air, so they're just a bit too polarized, I think. They play one big blind here on this board. Brick turn. I'll go for overbet. Or I'm opening all these marginal spots when I'm involved in like a million tables, asking for trouble. It gets harder to multitask when you get older as well, I'll tell you guys. Much more comfortable with an analyzer in front of me, like a hand replayer and a solver these days, than for tabling and talking on the new GG time bank system. Hey Jared, what's going on, man? I missed your message there for a second. Sorry, how are things? Kid is doing really well. He's a little legend. He slept for most of the night again last night. I got that weird feeling again this morning where I was like, is he okay? Like, why is he not woken me up? Because my wife was a bit sick yesterday, so I was letting her sleep and I was on duty last night. He woke me up at like 12. I go to bed at like 9 p.m. sometimes, especially if I'm on night shift. And he woke me up at 12 and then he just slept through to like 6 in the morning. I love it when that happens. It's so valuable, like just waking up after a good night's sleep. It's so nice. Queen 6-5, small bet board. For me. What's up, Jess? How are you? So yeah, we are definitely costing ourselves some EV as usual with this format, but well. Don't know if this is recreational or not. I am just going to enter the 3-bet node by default here, and I'll open 9-6 by default as well. And I think we'll flick this in with 8-7 against a bit deep against 3x, will we? Guys smoking a cigarette. I mean, we should probably call, right? I'm going to go third here and decide what to do depending on turn. Overperforms a bit. With the recreational in position, 8-7, a short stacked one is just not going to be that great. I might actually win occasionally here. You wouldn't believe it, right? But stranger things happen. I said you must have been a bully last stream. I didn't actually mean you. I know I said it, like, I know that your comment was like one of the things that made me go on that rant, but I was no longer talking about you specifically at that point. I was kind of just saying, I was thinking about trolls, and it became clear to me that you were not actually a troll, so I apologize if I labeled you prematurely. But what you said is something that most people are trolls when they say it, and that's where that came from. If I remember correctly. Lorenzo, what's going on? What do you think about raising 5x with range from big blind versus fish limping small blind? Um, I mean, I can't imagine it's winning with like 8-4 off. I could be wrong, but I've never considered that to be a reasonable possibility. Like, you will get a bunch of folds, but you're also risking a shit ton to win, like, not very much. So even if it feels like you get a bunch of folds, it might not be as good as you would think, if that makes sense. Let's slow play this time on that roll. Juicy flop. I'm actually going to roll this too. I don't really care. between small raise and slow play. Let's get this 3-bet in with aces. It's kind of important. Terrible turn card. I'm gonna go check here. And B10. And my default bet. Oh, you have. What are you doing? Ace, Jack. I guess block. I don't know. I really don't know what's going on here. Yeah, I lose a bit of value from specifically that hand. I guess check with ace jack. Goes 4 flush with aces. B10. I don't think they're gonna. Yeah, I think B10 pretty comfortably. B10 actually. There's so much like random showdown value here. That's like 7s, 8s, jack X, 10s, no spade, etc. He has to find raises with like all the flushes against this, which he might. But you do corner them a little bit with this line. I mean, how likely is a check player to be over bluffing this node? Kind of likely, I think. Good check on turn by villain. A lot of them aren't capable of that. I left them really wide in like the ace 4, 5s, 8s department. I felt like call might be okay, but I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I mean, their range is super wide after B10 flop, B10 river. There's just so much rope there that if they're Euro and they have that Euro flag, I find it hard to fold in that spot, honestly. Because the minute they start bluffing, they start like absolutely over bluffing, like immensely. So I think you want to call. I think so. Against a nitty looking shorter stack, I think I'll just call with jacks. Let's just play donk bet here. This is very similar to check. I think it's just slightly better. It's just like an optimization. What are you doing? What are you doing? What does he have? He just looks like such a net, and he's like recreational as well. This is where like the line just doesn't make any sense. Snap raise. Oh, I absolutely hate folding there. I just think it's like it's hard to run into like a 16 VPIP short stack that bluffs instantly in that spot. So even though it looks kind of full of shit, I don't know with that timing whether it actually can be. I don't know, man. I have no idea. Okay, we just made blunder number 3. Timeout number 3. All of them have been very costly today. We haven't made any timeouts that we've actually gotten away with. Like, they've all been pretty terrible, unfortunately. 4x, ace jack off, cut off. We'll just be involved, guys. It's a recreational, right? It's ace jack. I think like you can just cold call. It's already getting ISO'd for you. I think you just want to be in the hand. There's not as much need to ISO as normal. Shame we don't get the c-bet. I think just lead is good here. I don't think there's anything fancy to do. And honestly, I expect this to be like kings and stuff a ton now. I'm just gonna overbet healthily and expect to get called a lot in this spot. Unless he just has ace of spades, of course, in which case we make nothing with any line. Okay. Fives, quad fives? Probably just a jack. Yeah. Tough session this, like lots of mind-bending spots. Doing our best to fight through it. I think if we just had 2 more seconds, we wouldn't ever time out. The time bank is just such that we time out. This is such a nice draw. This is a draw against a recreational player's donk bet, guys. It may also just be the best hand, but it's certainly a super high implied odds draw. Even though it's a bad looking hand, its outs are very pure, like a 6 or a 4 there. Really quite happy to see. I don't think we can continue now. His flag was the Philippines. Well, that changes everything. Then I shouldn't have called. Damn similar flags. Thank you, though. I fail. Why did I think it was Czech? I mean, are they similar flags? They're kind of similar flags, right? A little bit, maybe. Guys, throw me a bone here. Tell me there's similar flags. Tell me it's very understandable. Tell me I'm not a complete moron, guys. Tell me I'm loved. I think it's good, Lorenzo, to push the idea of like getting in it to win it with fish a lot. I think it's a great way to see the game, but you know, there will be limits to it. Like this one, we just have to 3-bet, right? Because we just have like a great hand against the fish. So let's just make the pot bigger. I'm usually pretty good with countries as well. King 7, I'll do a bit of 3-bet. I'll do a bit of lead here. I'll limp. Jack 7 off against the recreational. Just in it to win it is the idea. Oh, I'm going to call Jack 7 off against the recreational. Same idea. And now I'm not going to be folding anytime soon, so good luck, us. It's better. Let me get to this in just a second, actually. It's B33 here. This is really just unbluffed now. I think we're better off just leading. What do you have? I think I have to check. I have to probably check fold here. I don't think they're calling naked overs often enough here. Don't know what this guy's doing, but we're checking. The sad thing is he's going to merge kings sometimes. Win with ace, win with king 7, nice. Okay, let's just shrug and call. It's not the best spot in the world. Enough random shit going on. So that was us just like limp calling Jack 7 and getting value bet by a fish with ace 9. It looks really bad, right? But it's a wide range spot where there's a lot of just spewing going on. So it'll be okay long term. Even though you feel like a total moron when that happens. Like you feel terrible. Your guess is he had 8s in the Jack-Jack hand. I mean, it's kind of the only hand that makes sense. It's just such a weird spot to get bluffed in. But there's also no value. Those spots are pretty weird. Where there's no value, but like, yeah. You're also like just... Yeah, the games aren't very good right now. There aren't that many recreationals around. They're usually a bit better than this. It's fine. I wouldn't say they're tough. They're just like a bit more reg infested. It's all relative though. Just grinding it out. Bypassing all these pointless spots that are like close and trying to get into some juicy ones. That's kind of like what poker is. It's just there's a lot of spots that are just neither here nor there that you have to navigate. He does have ace jack ace 10 actually. And he might make a sticky call, so I will just say something normal. There's like the combined chance of king jack not folding in, like him having some ace jack ace 10 is just like worth the big bet there. Just like what's his range and how will I play against that? 25, I'm assuming you mean this RNG, this number that keeps changing. It's basically just if I'm mixing. Like if I think there's no difference in EV between two lines, I may mix them. 25 or how many players in chat deserve to play the game. That seems high. Seems high. Yeah, just range one big blind. We should really have a tracker that counts the amount of timeouts we suffer. I think Jack 7 is more than good enough for this line against a random recreational 3x. Call is also okay, I wouldn't fold here. I think check on this flop, don't really want to reopen at this SBR, and our hand is medium. You could go for tiny bet. I think I like closing action though. And gonna go for check raise sometimes, actually not against the stack. We get a lot of random shit here, it's a very volatile spot, so we just have to deal with it and not fold. Really the worst river ever. But half pot's too bullshit here, and ace high is bluffing and shit, so we're definitely not folding. I got there in river, okay. Definitely not folding that spot, guys. I'm getting beaten up by the recreationals here. There's a bit of variance playing against them. Like, you've just got to not fold in these situations. You want to be in the situations where they're wide, and then when you have something for these like small investments, you want to not fold. And you want to town them when you have something good. That's kind of the idea. Mr. Carrot. Pete's fine. My staker doesn't believe my hand history at live cash. Either you're dodgy or the staker's dodgy or both. I'm going to go with both. I think Jack, we're going to fold. Let's call this just a little bit deeper. Let's fold this. Pot's good here. Pot check. Very good pot bluffing spot, by the way, because they don't have a jack enough or a king. King folds flop a lot, jack raises flop a lot, so they have neither. Just going to go down to pot when I'm bluffing against recreationals here. Usually I'd use 2x, but there's really no need. That is a terrible river card. Ace, queen, ace 10, ace 6. I would need to get called by like naked ace X. Ace jack, king, queen. I'm still going to value bet. But if they put the rest in, we probably just lose. I think it's close to a check back. I don't think it is. Because a decent amount of the time they're going to donk the river when they actually have a boat. They're just going to shove because they can't help themselves. How am I supposed to see gold stars from this distance, Mitzer, in Twitch chat? I just didn't see them, man. I just saw check. That's all I saw was aggro check guy. Spewing, trying to run me over. You know the type. Those aggro checks. They're getting there quite a bit on river, but was still not folding at 3-1 against these players. Easy lead, I think, with queen 7 in practice. Definitely in theory, you can't do that every time or even close to every time. You have to be a bit careful, but in practice, I think you can. Custom sizing to third pot. It's not my normal toolkit. Great, the U4 table, one table is also good. Yeah, I agree. I think you can definitely mix it up. I think both formats are good in different ways. Definitely won't always be this format. Check and B200 both okay with King 3 of Hearts here. The backdoor hand, the overcard, like it's going to be fine. Tried to call, failed to call. Just want to go for delayed c-bet wherever possible at these stakes. People aren't good enough yet to protect their checking range or throw in enough check raises or anything like that. Will be 200 here. And here. You see? One bluff, one value bet, guys. You just don't know. There's another B200 spot, but we're a multi-way, so I'm going to B50. Just always betting aces, though. Especially with the small blind recreational. Don't want to open deuces. Not really. Pot seems right. Or overbet. I think overbet, actually. Lovely river. The cleanest of clean. All in. Don't want to take too long. I don't want them to come to their senses or anything. It's been a tough session. Tough grind. Let's battle another fish. Try and win this time. This guy's played kind of badly so far with like missing mandatory bluffs and stuff like that. So I don't think I want to fold. Wow. Got freaked out by the 7. You think that's like some tactical slow play with blockers, guys? It's probably not. He's probably just freaked out by the 7. A big bet flop here. This is like a fairly low fold equity spot now, in general. It's not going to be good to barrel turn here with this hand, in my opinion. So Pat Leaf, your EV isn't going to change in a way that's mathematically calculatable for you. Because when you add another player, it changes the future nodes on the game tree. And then that in turn changes your EV back on node 1. So if you're talking about equity, you can do a calculation to figure that out. But when you add a third player, EV gets a bit more complicated because strategies change. But maybe you're talking about equity, I don't know. Do you mean equity or do you mean EV? I don't actually think that is a recreational. Crap spot to have top pair, top kicker. Don't think I want to play a lot of raise in this situation, early position at all. But I am going to be check calling a couple of times here. River's interesting. I'm going to check this time. I think check here is just very reasonable overall, actually. You have like 10s or something. I think we should try and check raise here. King, jack, 10s, etc. I think we're leaving too much money on the table by not check raising here. I'm going to fold this. I don't know the player type. Against a reg, there are some rare regs that overbluff with B75 as an MDA thing, but I don't know who they are. I don't know. This is a hard spot to make much, to be honest. So Villain kind of gave away that they didn't have an overpair with their sizing there. They kind of told us that they had queen jack, king jack, or 10s, which is why we were able to check raise and just earn more than we would by value betting. Had they just bet a bit bigger, we would have just called because they'd still be repping like overpairs and stuff and it would be a bit thin. But like when they go that sizing, you just have to go and try and get a bit more. This is the difference between beating a game and not, is like finding those little edges for sure. A check raise is set, of course. These spots are both terrible. It's not timeout, fold another set. Custom size a little bit though. Just pick a sizing here, I'm not too bothered. It's close to 10-9, but I think fold. Okay, you win. I'm not even going to think about calling that. What is this? This has to be underbluffed. It just has to be, right? I've got King, Jack, and Jack 10, but like there's so many straights that people just get like weirded out by the board pairing and then like just start. And then they just try and make up for on river. Like I'd guess villain has a straight there about 85% of the time, honestly. Lose nothing with Jack 10 to King 10 is a reasonable result, I guess. There we go. Poker Channel has the exact same answer I had. Good job. You did mean equity, right? Okay. That makes more sense. That's something you can calculate. Pot share EV, yeah. That's different. So pot share EV is EV turned into a percentage, like put into a similar form that we normally express equity in, but it's still EV. Whereas pot share, usually that just means equity, but it shouldn't, because pot share should be like your actual expected value amount of the pot, not your equity. But people use pot share to mean equity. So terminology is a bit of a nightmare in poker when you first start. That's why we're very clear to define it all in Carrot Poker School. We're playing B33 in this node, in this texture. A lot of stuff. And turn, I do favor betting here. We go nice and big on this card. The 8 doesn't really bother me from like a nut perspective, but it's double flush draws, queen, jack, ace, queen, like king, queen. Just very good sizing. Like villain's very, very mergy and very mediocre redraw heavy in that spot. So big sizing is going to be better from out of position. A little bit. This is quite huge. Just for a bit normally. I don't know what the deal is with that, whether they expect to get 4-bit bluff less when they do that. It might work. Thanks, Janice. I appreciate it. Or Yanis. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing that right. Yeah, that was a good result. King, Jack, Ace, Jack. Pity that we didn't get more, but it's kind of hard to get more in that spot. Like, that's such a hostile environment for having Ace, Jack, top pair, top kicker, that you really can't just go like raising flop and blasting off because villain's range is just too strong. Like, you can't do it. But when villain has King Jack, like he's kind of protected from getting stacked by how strong the rest of his range was. If that happened in late position, we're going to stack them way more often, right? For sure. I'm just going to 3-bet this King Queen is very close and not quite a thing in theory, but I think it's okay. Don't think we go for value with Queen 9. I think maybe a good queen starts to get more appetizing. 8x, you know, villain should be donking river. They're probably not. So the 8x is going into the checking range too often, which restricts how thinly we can value bet. In the king 10 hand, yeah, I think they have queen 9 almost always as well. Yeah, it's just, you just lose almost every single time to that line. Like, that's not a spot bet, check bet is catchable. They're kind of just face up, right? So calling river there would be very, very bad. Prefer realizability here, I think. 4 bet ace king in these positions. Let's just take the spot with 4s as well. Don't need to go too big here. I've gone too big because I was going to time out. Timing out would be worse. You're meant to go smaller against like the BVB range. It's a bit more polar, but it's fine. Is there any advantage to just calling this? I don't think so. Not that I can see. Like they're getting in anything that we have reasonable equity against. If we're crushed anyway, doesn't really. What? You think you've seen it all, guys? 5 bet fold 120 deep for like 40. What was that, like 45 big blinds? Surely not. Surely that is not a thing. Not a thing. Surely not. Am I going to win with 4s? I could win with 4s. It's definitely possible. Like ace, king, ace, jack. I don't think trying to make like jacks, 10s fold here is very sensible. I could go all in. Say I have ace 5. Needs to get through both players a shit ton of the time. It might be a bit optimistic. Maybe I could. Maybe all in's the play, actually. If I was like in my red line A game mode, I might go all in there. Feeling a resistance to it right now for whatever reason. It might just be bad, I don't know. A pure check raise this against quick bet. This is not a range bet board, but people do range bet, so just gonna raise. Raise a lot top pair for the sizing too if we're using this. And king 7 just becomes an open against 2 randoms, generally. I mean, everyone's randoms, right? See check fold on turn with this combo. We're going giant or not at all, and this is just not going to be in our bluffing range. I think we'll peel for 3. Really loosey-goosey, and we don't have a sandwich to accompany it, but I think it's fine. Check raise is good here. The more EP it is, the more you want to favor these like pair on the board plus redraw plus stuff hands. I'm going to embark on this. This is good, and I'm going to go huge. Well, not huge, but big, because I'm just building around sets and 2 pair. I went too big with the 3 bet here. I meant to go smaller, or just cold call against the stack. Actually, this is horrible. Oh well. Yeah, deserved. Deserved that with 7s. Deserved the 7 on the flop too. How are we doing for viewers, guys? On YouTube, we have 127. Not bad. Guys like the live play, the 4 tables. I think I've settled into an timed out for a while, touch wood. I will wrap up in 10 minutes or so, guys, just to give you an idea. This gets raised. I mean, like he's probably got Queen X in tow for the sizing, but with the most stable hand in the world, value beater in the world, we're not going to do anything else. I'm just going to treat this like he has King Queen through to other Queen X now. And just bet like relatively big here for value and just not be too shy about it. B50 here, whatever. Any size is fine, really. I guess just BS. The 3x. People use X in that spot, and it's just ridiculously small. Like they end up making like the tiniest raise you've ever seen in your life. Because they don't realize that when you've gone a tiny percentage of pot and they just go X your bet, that they're not making a real raise, right? I think just call with King Queen off here, actually. It's not quite good enough. Do we bluff ace jack on river here? No, probably not on a brick, but probably on like a 10 queen. We do. I'm gonna let this Brazilian eat a bit of my time bank here. Because they like to use timing tells sometimes. Saulo Costa style. You never know. A reverse timing tell against the Brazilian, specifically for you, tailor-made for Brazil. I think it's a pretty easy overbet. There's just so much ace-x. He doesn't care though. He's just got ace-king, I call. Oh, he hit the 6, that's why. Against DP, I don't really have much showdown with King Queen. I do have a little bit, but I think it's better to overbet. They're so capped. They just have ace high almost always. I think against like button big blind, you just take the showdown there. For sure. Like you're winning against enough Jack 10 off. I'll call with 10s. I don't think you have to squeeze here at all. In fact, calls the main line. We'll play deuces. Why not? Treat myself, as Easter would say, to a bit of deuces. So be underprotected mostly, so we'll just stab with 10s, like very vulnerable hand 3-way. Don't expect to get check raised anywhere near the right frequency. We do this time. This is very small. I still think we should let it go though. I think it's just a very underbluff spot. Deuces, we have to fold to this. Queen deuce. Start with one big here. Okay, you saved me my pot size c-bet. I was about to make it you. I was about to double barrel turn pure. Thank you. Oh, baby, I love it. Pete wanted to jam fours in the river so we can make another appearance on punt or no punt. Yeah. It's a bit like that, isn't it? I mean, it might be good, honestly. It might be good. It just depends, like, because like the cold caller can be randomly volatile and just not believe you. I think the other guy's going to fold pure or close to pure. It just depends how often you get through that player. You're also just repping nothing. You're just saying that like you either slow played aces twice, which takes a bit of a sicko to pull that one off. Luke Johnson style 3-bet here. Or you just like binked ace 5, like 2 combos of ace 5. It's very unbelievable if anyone's actually thinking about it. But it might just be like a shrug, they fold almost always line anyway. I don't know. I'm very bad at gauging like exactly how well these need to work really often, do work really often. Lines work. Like I know it works really often. I know it needs to work really often. I don't know which number is greater, you know? It's like one of those. Probably like our brain underestimates just how frequently it can work in those spots. That'd be my guess. Because we have a resistance to doing it. We don't want to feel like an idiot. We don't like the feeling of like getting caught by 10s when we do that. We feel really, really dumb. Even if we've done something good. We like can't handle the negative feedback there in that sort of node. Easy call. I don't think you really need to mess with the... This is so close. Against B785. The reason I'm going to fold is that we just face turn aggression a little bit too often after we face that sizing. In general. Just the way humans are. This hand does benefit a lot from fold equity. We're not like super deep here. I think I prefer bet to check here. That's a very nice turn. See, this is a spot where like our EV is just incredibly high. Double flush draw as well. I'm going to size up here. Queen River. There's nothing to these spots, so we may as well just rejoice in the fact we're about to stack King 10 of hearts. Let's guess hearts. Not nines, please. 6-5, huh? Unlucky turn. Let's play Queen 3, 2 recreationals. Yeah, he's like, I was ahead, I was doing well, you got lucky. It's that whole fish thing. Like, it's like more legitimate in a fish's mind to like have it on the flop than to make it on the river, even if the equity is the same. Like if you have a combo draw and you get there, they like begrudge it, right? Just like half pot here should suffice. They're very polar to Jack Ace or just something really bad. And I think we give up river. On the 4, we definitely give up river. I could bet the sand or check the sand, actually, I don't really care. Yeah, we're gonna give up here for sure. Wait, we only chopped? Why did we chop? Why didn't we win? I meant a bit bigger. God, we're timing out everywhere. Oh my god. This guy has ace queen. He checks all the way to the river, then snap raises. I'm gonna fold. Look at that timing. Look at that timing, guys. We just lose. We definitely lose there. Like, I'm all for calling these after you bet one big blind, but like that one, I think we just lose. My spidey sense tells me no. Okay, guys, say a prayer for the 10-9 of spades. Let's get 8-7-6 one time. That is not the same thing. Barely even a flop call. It's such a bad spot. I think bet's right here. So annoying if he calls turn, actually. But he didn't. Oh no. Oh no, guys. Oh no. We cold called. We're like Hustler Live over here. This is literally like a live at the lodge call. And Bluffosaurus is gonna flick it in with 6-5 off. Yep, standard for this game. The double quadrillion straddle and stand-up game are on. Pete, did you just refer to the larger part of the game tree as the main line? Absolute chess brain, Lamau. I agree. I've given up chess, but you can't get rid of the chess brain. It stays. It's a permanent feature. Right, guys, we're going to wrap up. This has been fun. Hope you've enjoyed it. I certainly have. We might have broken even in the end. I don't know. Ropey start, but won a few pots. I don't know about the spot. Ace 8's probably still a check. I think ace 3 is maybe a bluff in this line. Maybe just call the river. I don't know. These ones are always dicey against fish because they can just be bluffing with 5s. You have no idea what the showdown value thresholds are. Alright, guys. So we lost a few stacks. We won some money. We made a few blunderous timeouts. We made a blunderous play that wasn't a timeout. We made some nice plays as well. Hope you enjoyed. Check out Carrot Corner. Use code CRUSH20 for 20% off anything you want at Carrot Corner. You get that code because you watch this stream. Go spend it. Improve your poker game. I'll see you in the Discord. If you do, you'll get an email with access. Click the link in the email to join the Discord. If you get grade 1 weapons of war or something that costs equivalent or more. See you next time. More of this to come later this week. Day off tomorrow, but Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, more